Hello and welcome. Today I am going to take you on the process of what you're looking at when you first download your Success Codex chart. So I am Katy Davies and I am a human design guide, success certified Success Codex reader, and my whole background is all around strategy, marketing, business strategy. And so I'm going to take you through what you're looking at with your codex. If you have found this video and you're thinking, what is she talking about? I don't have a codex. The QR code that you can see on the screen, you can scan that and you can go get your codex or on the links below, wherever you're viewing this. So, this is a page from my website, Piece of Cake Coaching, and this is the page that you may well have been on already when you got your chart. So, the Codex itself, what is it? It was created by the lovely Ankara Rose. It's a powerful system which it is designed with a business lens in mind, and it pulls from human design, gene keys, astrology, and what it looks at is the planets down the side. So if you're already familiar with your human design chart, you will know you have the body graph in the center, and then down each side you have the lines of the planet activations, and that's what this is really looking at. It's stripping away all of the other pieces of the human design, the gene keys, astrology, etc., and it is looking at the focus of the planets. What it's showing you is your natural strengths, leadership potential, communication style. Each of these 13 gateways is actually split out into four different paths. So when you first get the codex, it will potentially look like this with all 13 on the same page. And then as you delve down deeper into it, you will find it's broken up into the impact path, the growth path, the balance path, and the transformation path. So when you're looking at each of these, you're going to hold at each point the lens at which you are looking at this information. So if we go back to the beginning and we look at the impact path, when we're looking at this particular gateway, we're always looking at the information. How is that impacting our leadership? When we're looking at this information, how is that impacting our impression, the impression that people have of us when we first meet them? Um, and this particular one, how is this influencing our expression? So this one is Mercury, and this is well known. Mercury is well known to be the planet of communication. Now, one thing that comes up often is it's not just your human design that we're looking at. So leadership here is the midhaven, and the impression here is your rising. So these two gates, when you start looking at this, you might not recognize the energy from your human design chart because they are an additional to gateways that we're looking at. And similarly over on the last path, permission is actually Black Moon Lilith. So sometimes when people first get their chart, they notice that there's some maybe additional information that they haven't noticed in their human design chart. If you have no idea what I'm talking about and you don't know your human design, then this doesn't matter. That is the beauty of this system, is actually we can look at this without knowing anything about our human design. So what we're initially looking at is how is the information in here helping us to actually understand the lens of what this is telling us. So there'll be more information on each of these gateways later, but to start with, what I would love you to do is just the very first piece is start thinking about, okay, where are these words resonating? Where do I feel a connection with this? Where am I thinking, aha, yes? And where is there resistance? So I'm going to show you just how the chart itself actually comes up. So you can come to the page, you can read all about this, and it explains it, what the key code, the approach, the archetype, the in and out of alignment cues, guiding questions, etc. But let's just actually get what it looks like when you first do this. So we'll pop in my name, Katy Davis. Oh, Here we are. Doesn't actually matter how you spell it or what name you put in. So we'll make up where I was born. Let's say I will be born in Birmingham. And as you start typing, it comes up. So put in now, I have opted for the British one. So we have day, month, year. If you've been to other people's site or you're used to writing the day in a different way, just check that you are putting in the right things here. AM and PM, it does make a difference. So again, what were you born in the morning or the afternoon? Just double check that you've got all this in the right order because it does make a difference. So once you're happy with that, click view your chart and up it pops. And so that is your chart. Now, depending on your computer, you might be able to zoom in like this, but this is your codex. Okay, this is what you're looking at on the screen. And then it will take you through each of these. So primary genius in the center, it will give you the same information again. And then when you click on the three dots, it gives you a little bit of information of what your primary genius is showing you. So your primary genius and approach reveal the core of your brilliance, the unique energy that you're here to embody and express in all that you do. So the primary genius, is actually from the sun and it is 80% of our energy, and it's why it's at the center of the chart. And when we look at all of the paths together, individually, we still look at the sun because the sun is the biggest influence. So it's almost like you add the sun to the other gates. Your whole chart as a collective will be having an influence, but the sun is that's why it's called the primary genius, because it's the biggest influence throughout all of this and the whole codex. So as you start to go through, you can just start to see, okay, so what we're looking at really here is these numbers at the top, the 58.1, that's what you might traditionally be aware of if you are, familiar with your human design. But if you don't know it, you don't need to. So the genius that we're saying for this person's chart that is in there, ready to be unlocked, is joy. And the archetype of this genius is embodied through the contributor. So the contributor is embodying that joy, and they are contributing from their joy. When you are in alignment, you are joyful. When out of alignment, dissatisfied. Now, often through all of these lenses, it's the out of alignment cue that people can often spot quickly and think, oh, okay, I'm out of alignment. I need to get back on track. For example, my primary genius is gate 9, which is focus. And so when I'm in alignment, I'm focused. When I'm out of alignment, I am scattered. And when I feel scattered, I notice. I'm like, oh my gosh, everything's feeling scattered. Where do I need to focus my energy? Where do I need to bring this in? And where do I need to focus my energy so that I'm no longer scattered? So as we click on this at the bottom, here you will find your primary genius. And actually on this particular one, they have given you a more in depth on the approach. So the approach is how you work with this genius, how you actually approach bringing it to the forefront. So it comes from the line number, but what it's telling us is the approach of how you're working with this energy. So if you go back to the actual chart, you will see on here, the approach is the bold bit at the bottom. So for this particular person, their approach would be weave in your knowledge. So if you are familiar with the traditional line 1 explanation of the investigator, the line 1s are all about their knowledge. So we're saying when you're working with this energy, weave in your knowledge. As you go down and you start to look at the other key codes, again, you will get the information that tells you what is expression trying to help you understand, what is the lens through which you're looking at this. So expression help you express yourself potently and authentically in ways that deeply land with others. I mentioned this earlier, expression is Mercury. So it gives you the key code. And then it also gives you your guiding question. So if you are feeling out of alignment with this particular key code, the question you would ask yourself is, what deeper truth am I seeking? So that's how it works. You will go through each one and you can click to get the more information as you go through. But what you can also do is download your PDF. Let's actually zoom out of it and go back to normal. So if you click the button here, download PDF, it will do some magic or wizardry, and then on my computer it appears up the top here in my downloads. So I click on that and it actually brings you up a gorgeous PDF of all that information with your primary genius over in the side there, just to help remind you of the more information about that. And then as you go through, you can then start to see the paths, and there is a description on here actually showing you what is this path helping you with? What is this path helping you with? So to start with, that's all I'm going to say in this video. I'm just going to leave that with you to start to understand your codex. So start to just look at the words. There is also a little key code down here to help you, remind you of what they all are. So the top piece, if I zoom in again here, it's not working. Zoom. Yeah, there we go. So the top piece is the actual gates and the numbers and stuff that you might be familiar with your human design if you want to compare the two. If you don't know your human design, you don't need to worry about that. The genius of this energy is the next one. The archetype of the person who embodies that genius. Then you've got your alignment cue. Then you've got your out of alignment cue. And then you've got your approach phrase with all of these. Okay. And it's the same as you go down through all of the paths. You get the description of the path, which gives you some information on what you're working with. And it gives you here we go. Here's a 9. Here's what I was talking about earlier. So this is actually my sun. I'm a 9.2. And my genius that I can unlock is focus. The person who embodies that is the archer. If you imagine them, how they're focused on their target. I am actually creating a series of blogs which dives into these archetypes in a deeper way. There are 64 of them, so they're not all there yet. But depending on when you're watching this video, they are coming. And if you are particularly wanting yours to move to the front of the queue, drop me an email, drop me a message, and I will prioritize yours. And with this particular approach, your inner resource humanity. So again, if you are familiar with your human design, the approach is related to that line. So a line 4, I am actually a 2-4 profile, so I do understand the 4. It's all about the connections, our network, like our heart. So hence why our inner resource here in this particular thing is the humanity. So that's all I'm going to tell you for now. If you do want to know more about each different piece, I will be doing more videos, but I don't want to overwhelm you. Right now, just get to grips with, what do you see? What is resonating? What's feeling a bit spiky? What patterns are you noticing already? Start to understand the language, start to really lean into what these mean for you. Start to look at the paths, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to give you more information where you can then start to drill down into each of these more and more. Or, of course, if you want to jump straight to it, you can book in a reading with me, and I will do you a video explaining your own path and your own gateways with all of the additional information that comes with it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully that's given you a little brief overview. Like I said, all of the information is actually on the page where you get the chart, and if you scroll down, there is then further information on each of the paths that gives you a little bit more detail, so you can go through each of these paths, have a look, and you will also then find some of the blogs. That's my chart. You can have a little look. Some of the blogs, like for example, Archetype of the Bridge, is already there. So if you have gate 6 in your chart, you can have a little read. And I've broken down sort of the archetype to help um, embody that as well. So I will see you soon. Enjoy. I'm so excited about this journey. I absolutely love the Codex and what it brings. And I will see you soon in my next video.